What's going on, guys? It's Jono. Today, what I want to share is if I had to restart again, if I lost everything, how I would make my first $10,000 online as quickly as possible. And this actually kind of hits home for me too, because what I'm going to be sharing with you guys is exactly what I did a few years back when COVID hit. Overnight, I lost everything. My business just completely, in a span of a day, just collapsed, right? With the restrictions that our government in Canada imposed. And I had to make a pivot really, really quickly. And the pivot that I made is exactly what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. And it did work for me. And I'm very confident that if you guys follow this through, it could potentially very, very likely work for you as well. So let's dive into it. What I did was I switched to Upwork.com. Now, I'm just going to assume that you know absolutely nothing about Upwork, even though most people have probably heard of it. It's the largest freelancing site, I believe, in the world, where it connects people that are looking to freelance, right, with any given set of skills. It connects those with employers, right? People that are looking to hire skilled individuals to fulfill a particular service for them. So in Upwork, that is the platform, right? And how it essentially works is that you create a profile, you search for jobs, and then once you find jobs that kind of match the criteria of work that you're interested in, then you just submit a proposal, you get a contract from them after some time, right? Just like applying to jobs on something like Indeed. Obviously, you're not going to get every single one, but eventually some will come through. Then you'll complete the work and you'll get paid. And really any job that you can possibly think about doing online, Upwork already has a solution out there for you, or they have, you know, that particular niche likely in their software here, right? Like there's so many different things that I can think of. I mean, it's all just listed in front of me right here, right? So fashion designer, fashion illustrator, guitar family freelancer. Wow, that is one hell of a niche to go into. Guitar family freelancer, HTML developer, a lot of things with coding, marketing, sales, design and creative. You got admin and customer support, AI services. Oh man, this is pretty cool. I think they just released this not too long ago. So there's so many things that you can do. Like what I did was I went into automation in Upwork.com, and that was really nice because it's also a really high paying job as well. And that's one thing I want to touch on is that usually, when I initially thought of Upwork, I always thought of it as a job pool for people outside of North America, where traditionally it would be hard to find anything that would pay well. But I couldn't be more wrong. I was so wrong when I made that assumption back in the day, because there's people that are looking to hire people in North America, United States, Canada, and they're willing to pay $50 or $100 USD or $200 USD in some cases. And you can also do fixed rate contracts as well, where instead of paying for your time, you're just paying to complete a project. And if you get that project done very quickly, let's say you're doing automation and you create a template and you implement that template, you could get something done in like an hour, maybe two, and then bill somebody for 20 hours, right? So it can be very lucrative if you do this properly. And there's a lot of people that are making over $1 million in their career with Upwork. And you can see this quite often when you're on the inverse side, when you're hiring people, and you get to see how much money they made. So this is the platform we're going to be using. And today what we're going to be doing is, first of all, walking through step by step how to actually sign up, and then how to get your first client, right? So if you're new, you can click sign up. And if you guys already have an account, you can just skip this section to the next one where I walk through, how to find and source jobs and all that kind of stuff. But if you're brand new, you can click that sign up button, right? And it's going to prompt you to go to this page to create a profile here, right? It's going to ask you a couple questions. Hey, John, ready for your next big opportunity? Let's get started. Perfect. And then you could say you're brand new to this, you have some experience, you're an expert. I'm just going to put I have some experience for now. And it's going to walk you through the process of setting up an account, right? And, you can just add in whatever you want for now. And the next thing it's going to ask you to do is create a profile online, right? And this is something that even though it says only takes 5 to 10 minutes, I'd definitely be spending hours and hours crafting this, not immediately, but over the course of the coming days, weeks, or months, and even years. I'd be fine tuning this all the time. I mean, this is like this is what people hire you based on, right? And you want to have a portfolio or a profile that screams hire me because I'm more experienced than anyone else you're going to find, right? Because that's going to lead to more success. So this isn't like a 5 to 10 minute process where you're just like, done and then you just automatically get jobs. It's not like a get rich quick scheme. You got to really invest time into making this work. Otherwise, it's not going to be as fruitful for you. So you can import from LinkedIn or upload your resume. These are all decent starts, or you can just fill it in manually. And I'm just going to click here, start a new profile. You can select the skills that you want to choose, right? So maybe you want to do customer service or you want to do sales and marketing. I just put digital marketing here, but you're going to want to select the skills that you feel very confident in. Now, for those of you who make it to this step and you're thinking, well, I don't have any applicable skills, or I don't know what skill that I want to go into, there's a lot of ways that you can move forward, right? First of all, what I would recommend you doing is just spending the next day or two, or the next weekend or 2 weekends or 4 weekends, watching YouTube videos on a specific niche. Maybe it's SEO, maybe it's marketing automation. You can watch my channel where I literally build out systems in make.com and other software applications as well. You can copy exactly, like literally, I'm giving the blueprints away for free. You can just copy those and you can sell them to people on Upwork, or you can find use cases where people are looking for those services, and then you can literally give them what I've already created and charge a lot of money for doing that, right? So I would hone in on a niche. I'd pick something that you're interested in, become an expert in it by trying to teach yourself as much as possible. And yes, if you, spend a lot of time and watch a lot of videos, you can really become knowledgeable in the field. You can implement your practice. You can practice it and implement it in a pet project you have. Use that as a particular use case scenario that you can showcase to clients. Maybe you have friends and family. Maybe you can work for them for free. Maybe you can, find opportunities to get some experience under your belt. And what I said there, when I said free, is a good word to use, because if you are starting out and you have zero experience, do not expect that it's going to be super easy. For some people watching, they might hit a home run and it might be very easy moving forward. But for me, at least when I started this, it was not easy and it took me a long time. And I hit every single branch on the way down. Like, I could not have made more mistakes, but evidently that allowed me to succeed by learning what not to do so I could avoid those pitfalls in the future. So I would recommend just honing down, bunkering down, picking a niche that you like and learning as much as possible, and then selecting that niche here. So I'm going to go on to the next skill set here. And it's going to, you're going to drill down, right? And add, other, portions of potentially digital marketing that you'd want to specialize in here, right? So maybe you want to specialize in strategy, for example, right? And there's a lot of jobs on Upwork. So it's really good to pick something that you are really passionate about, something that you're going to wake up and get excited to do, not something that's just going to, potentially make money. Obviously, it's both ends of the spectrum, but try and pick something that you actually could fall in love with. And then you'll write a professional, you write a title for yourself. I'm just going to say sales and marketing expert. We can come back to this later on. I'm actually going to show you guys my profile on this. You'll add any relevant experience. You could skip over this, but this is really, really important to add in any experience that you've had in the past with past jobs, past companies. If you don't have any, I'd recommend just creating a couple projects on your own and referencing it here, right? That's a great use case that you can provide to people with real tangible stats on how it maybe impacted you, right? Maybe you put it out into the real world. Maybe you're going into SEO and you're ranking a site and you got it to rank 1 for certain keywords, right? Well, you can put that here, and that's a pretty big achievement already. So you don't necessarily have to have paying clients to have some relevant work experience. There's a lot of different ways that you can think creatively outside the box. And when you're starting, you're going to have to, because that's, where you're going to get your skills and you're going to apply those skills to the future employers that will be hiring you. So on to the next thing. I'm just going to skip this for now. if you have any education, of course, it'd be great to put it there. University education, any certificates, any degrees. I mean, there's like make.com Academy, for example, in automation, or Zapier Academy. There's a lot of academies out there. There's a lot of Google certifications that you can enroll in and get that, and you can put it here. Ultimately speaking, I think they're nice to have. So I don't think, an employer is being like, oh my gosh, this person's certified, therefore I need to hire them. That's a small piece of the puzzle. It's those nice to haves that kind of round off your portfolio quite nicely, but you don't need them to get by. And I'm going to skip this for now. And you can just choose your languages and your proficiency in that language. Next, go to the overview section, write a bio. So now this is kind of like the last step. What I want to do here is actually show you my portfolio here. So this is my bio. Keep in mind, I actually haven't logged in years here, but email and automation specialist, software developer, and web designer. And here's the bio, right? The purpose of my bio is to hook people in literally ASAP and get them really interested in reading the rest through social proof, right? So it says I've worked with companies like Microsoft, TD Bank, Porsche, Lamborghini, Golf Canada, and a lot more than that, but that's also interesting too, right? And this is just my spin on it, but ultimately what I would recommend doing if you want to write a good bio here is go find people on Upwork that have made like the most money in your space, the people that have made $1 million+ and see what they're writing for their bio, because whatever they're writing is making them money. So I would be copying whatever it is. And obviously you're not gonna be able to, copy exactly what it is they wrote, but you can use it as like a rough guideline as to how you probably want to structure your bio, but obviously put your own spin with your own experience and all that kind of stuff on it to, maximize the results that you're going to get. And then, I just introduce myself and I talk about, the areas that I could cover helping them out. And, essentially here's some achievements that I've done and what I've done for past clients, like helped rank to #1 in Google for top keywords, or automate 95% of a business, or increase click-through rates to 10 to 15% and 20% conversion rates for landing pages, right? So, and then listing the skills and all of that kind of stuff. So that is, it's really worth putting in a lot of time to get this bio right. But essentially social proof at the beginning, talking about the services that you offer that you could really help out. And then some case studies or achievements that you've done, and then the technologies that I've used and the programming languages that I use, and then a call to action to see if they want to jump in and maybe talk to me, right? So that's really important to create that bio. And then here, there are some case studies in here as well. Where I have like my portfolio of how I automated certain businesses up to 95% or got 10 to 20% conversion rates, all of this kind of stuff. And see this AI writing app here, like this is just an application that I built. I built it myself, and then I'm showcasing it on Upwork. And I don't even know if I got any sales, to be honest with you. When I built this, just so passionate. I thought it was so cool. This is when GPT-3 like 4 years ago, and it was like really just emerging. I actually, that because of that, because when I saw that, I was like, I got to learn coding. And I just locked myself in my room for like 3 months and learned front and back end coding. And then I built this as one of my pet projects. And then I marketed that. And a lot of clients actually thought that was really cool. And we had good conversations about it. So that's the kind of stuff that you can build as pet projects on here and add it in there. And it adds credibility, right, to your profile. So I would strongly urge that you guys spend a lot of time building out your own profile, your bio, projects, all of that kind of stuff. The next thing that is really, really important with Upwork, and is honestly probably one of the biggest stumbling blocks, is 3 things here. So it's the job success score that somebody has, #1. #2, it's the ratings. And #3 is the amount of money you've made. So it's been a while since I've done Upwork, but if they haven't changed it, I believe that they only showcase your reviews when you get 3. So if you have 0, 1, or 2 reviews, they don't showcase your reviews, and they showcase the money you've made. Like you can see here that it says I've made $30,000 USD doing Upwork, and I only did like a couple hours a day for maybe a few months here. But they show the amount of earnings that you make, which is cool because but sorry, specifically with the earnings is it goes in intervals, right? From like $0 to $100, $100 to $1,000, 1,000 to 10,000. And then I think it goes up by 10,000, right? 10,000 intervals. But the important point there is when you're starting out, you don't have reviews, you don't have a job success score, and you don't have any money earned, right? And the biggest inhibitor of you, the biggest bottleneck for you to get deals or clients on here is not having reviews and not having any money earned, right? I can tell you that right now, being on the other side of the fence, when I'm hiring people, if I don't see reviews and I don't see money earned, then I am going to be very hesitant to move forward with that person. And rightfully so, by the way, too, because there's a lot of people that make fake profiles on here and they just there's just a lot of BS on Upwork. So as an employer, you want to be careful, obviously, with who you're hiring, and you want the best talent. And especially if you're putting out a job and you get 50 or 100 people sending proposals, you want to pick the best person, right? So obviously, it's hard to stand out when you don't have that. And for that reason, what a lot of people like to do is they get their friends to hire them, their family to hire them, clients that they currently have to hire them on Upwork and pay them through the platform. So they get the reviews, they get the 3 reviews that are 5-star rated, or they get the $1,000 or whatever. Obviously, ultimately speaking, it's best if you just get clients to the platform. That is ideal, but I know a lot of people that have started with Upwork, they do it that way because the first little bit of resistance to get those 3 reviews and the $1,000 is incredibly hard. It's very, very hard unless you're just pumping out a lot of quotes. And you can do either way, but there's an easy way and there's a hard way. And the option is yours, however you want to proceed with it, right? So just keep that in mind and take it with a grain of salt, is these things are going to be some of the biggest metrics when it comes to actually getting jobs on Upwork. Now, once you have your profile set up, you got your, and you're ready to go, the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to search for jobs on Upwork, right? And in Upwork, you can just go to find jobs, and there's going to be tons of jobs. Now, for me, I'm just going to focus on something like Go High Level for this example. And actually, I'm going to do make.com for this example. Let's see what comes up with make.com. But you want to be hyper specific with the jobs that you're applying to. One of the things that could derail you or sidetrack you is applying to jobs that really are out of your wheelhouse, right? It's important to do, especially when you're starting, to do really well on your first few jobs, because those first reviews are going to be critical to your success, right? So you can either have a really strong start, you can have a really weak start, and obviously you want to have a good, strong start. So choose jobs that are going to set you up for success. So if I come in here and I type in make.com, there's no code, low code, JS, TS, developer for fast AI prototyping. This, besides the money involved, this probably wouldn't be something that I would do. I'd choose something that's a bit easier. So build me a make.com scenario, live while I watch and learn, involves G Drive, Gmail, and OpenAI. This is awesome. This guy's paying you $50 to jump on a Google Meet and just walk him through how to build something that seems pretty simple to do if it's just Google Drive, Gmail, and OpenAI. You can literally watch my videos where I literally talk about these exact integrations with Google Drive, Gmail, and OpenAI, and you could apply to this job and you could implement pretty much what I've already talked about in my videos, right? So that's pretty cool, right? So I would be hyper specific with the jobs. And when you're starting out, because you haven't made a lot of money, because you haven't generated a lot of reviews, and there's not as much trust, you want to essentially apply for as many jobs as possible. I like to set goals for myself when I'm applying for jobs on Upwork. I would be setting 30 applications a day, right? Where, before I sign off for the day, I'm sending out at least 30, getting that momentum behind me. The more you send out, the easier it gets. Obviously, like when you're coming in here and you see a lot of jobs, it might be scary because you're looking and you're like, this doesn't seem like something I can do. And you'll feel like you might get imposter syndrome a lot of the time. And that's totally normal if you do. Just find things that that are gonna be similar to your skill set, and just start applying, start throwing out as many opportunities as possible so that you can get your foot in the door. And once you start, sending off tons of proposals, you will get people messaging you back. And this is kind of what it goes like, right? Somebody's going to be like, hey, I'd like to invite you to take a look at the job posts that I posted. Please submit a proposal if you're available, interested. And more or less, this is what I wrote to him. I'd probably switch up my strategy now, but this is more or less what I would say is, hey, first name, I can definitely help you with your whatever. And I've been doing email marketing every day for the past 5 years. Who's looking for email automation, right? So this is like a canned template where I'd switch up a couple things, but I'd always put in their name, obviously, and the job title within the first sentence. And I would say, I can help you with this. My goal is to, and this is kind of the meat and potatoes where I'm saying, hey, this is my objective. Like, I want to help save you time. I want to help save you money. Like, I want to make your life easier. That's why you're hiring. That's why you're paying me, right? Is for me to give more value to you than you're exchanging with myself, right? And here is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to save you tons of time. I'm going to increase your sales, and I'm going to nurture your clients long term, right? And this is for email automation. And here's why I think I'd be the perfect candidate. And then in his specific description of the job post, he said these points: develop advanced campaigns. And then I responded back saying, this is how I can develop advanced campaigns. Then he's like, high quality email design. Here's, my response to how I provide high quality email design. And then I provide 2 links to videos where I go over, generally speaking, email automation, and I go over automation in general. And, the thing is there were so many clients that came to me and they're like, hey, I watched your video. That was awesome. Yeah, I want to talk. And if you are not putting in a video into here, then you're definitely going to be missing a ton of opportunities. This is the highest leverage task you can do on Upwork, is generate video testimonials, videos on explaining what you're going to do. You'd be shocked by how many people do not do this. The overwhelming majority of people don't do this. And this is just an easy way to stand out and get your foot in the door, because when you're messaging people, the only thing you're trying to do is take yourself from point A to point B. You're not trying to close the deal and everything. You're just trying to get them from a message onto a meeting, and that's it, right? Just from the message to the meeting. And a great in between is to send them a video. By the time they watch that, they already feel connected to you, right? They already feel invested in you, and they'll likely want to give you a shot, right? And you may have to practice in front of a camera a bit of time to feel confident in what you're saying, but eventually you'll get the hang of it, and you'll be able to create a killer video that's going to really resonate with your target audience, right? Once you do that, then of course you can put it in this proposal and then kind of use it on autopilot. Or if you, find jobs that you really love, I would highly recommend creating a Loom video and just sending that over. And, I don't know, creating a minute Loom video being like, hey, person's first name. I took a look at your website, show the website. So it actually shows that you went to their website and you took a look, and this is what I can do for you. And you just explain in a video testimonial. That's a great way to get your foot in the door. And especially when you're starting out, you want to do everything you can to put your best foot forward when you don't have the reviews and you don't have the money generated, which is posted on your profile. So that's essentially it. Then I just give a nice little summary here as to why I think this is beneficial, and then a call to action where, I'm just essentially getting them to jump on a call with me. And then from here, he's like, hey, are you available to talk? In the meantime, you can take a look at my website. And then I'm like, hey, I'm free for a call, right? And eventually, you're going to get enough messages where somebody wants to jump on a call with you. And this is where the real process begins, right? Because when you're on the call, you're selling yourself, right? And you have to make a good impression. And, it is a sales call at the end of the day. And for me, there's a lot of different people. Like everyone has their own opinion on how to sell, right? But honestly, for me, the biggest thing is before I'm selling a product or a service, I'm selling myself. If the person likes me, if they genuinely trust me, they have confidence in me, they just get along. They think, hey, this guy's a nice person, and they'd be pleasant to work with, and I could see myself working with this person long term. You've already done most of the heavy lifting, right? As long as you can make that really good first impression, you're already halfway there. So asking questions about their business, smiling, being ecstatic to talk to them, happy, right? All those things go so far. I can tell you this, I've taken thousands and thousands of sales calls at this point in time, right? And some of the best things that I've done is just being super energetic, super happy. That's obviously my personality. That doesn't work with everyone. So you got to figure out your own way, but that's typically what worked really well for me. And then what I also like to do on these sales calls is actually, well, it depends on the client you're talking to, because some people want to take a front seat approach where they guide the conversation. And then some people that will come to you, they're like, hey, I don't know what to do. Can you help me out with this? So you kind of got to navigate through the call depending on who it is that you're talking to. But ultimately speaking, what I always like to do with these calls is a couple things, right? First of all, you got to show up prepared. Sounds really simple, but you should take a look at their website. You should take a look at the service offerings. You should know the company you're talking to. And that might seem like in the realm of common sense, but I can tell you right now, in the last year, I've probably done like over 500 interviews hiring people, and at a minimum. And the amount of people that actually do research, I would say probably like 30% of people do zero. Like they don't even know the company name, right? We're talking about somebody gets on the call and like, hey, I don't know I asked them, do you know the company name? And they're like, yeah, it's this company. I'm like, no, it's not. That's not the right company. Obviously you applied for a bunch, but you should at least know the company name. And then of that, I would say up to 70 to 80% of people, they might be able to give me one line on what my business does, right? And then there's about 10% of people that actually can go on and have a conversation because they've done an adequate amount of research. And when you're starting out, you want to be in that third category where you can say, hey, like your business is awesome. I can't believe you did this, that, and whatever. And like these accolades you have, that's so cool. Tell me more about that, right? So obviously that's going to be a big step. So you want to show up prepared. And then you want to work with them to build out a custom roadmap for them, right? You want to, on that call, find out the pain point that they're struggling with and find a solution on that call. And what this looks like, I'll actually show you what I build out with my clients pretty much on the freaking call with them. Is because I'm doing automation, I build out a flow chart like this, right? And I will ask them, okay, tell me, you're looking to automate your business. Okay, awesome. So tell me more about it. Like where does the customer journey begin? Well, Jono, it begins with the website. Okay, perfect. And once they're on the website, what happens? Do they ask for a quote, or did they book an appointment, or is there a lead magnet? Yeah, it's all three. Okay, perfect. So what happens after, somebody jumps on they fill out the quote form? Well, like we want to get them on a call. Okay, great. So maybe we should send an automated campaign with auto texts and emails to get them to book a call with us, right? But and then that will, in turn try and get them on a sales call. But if they book an appointment right away, then we should send them down a workflow where we confirm that appointment. We send them an email saying, hey, Bob, thanks for booking this appointment with me. We'll be talking in like a week from now or whatever, right? And you send them that workflow to get them on a sales call, right? And then you just work through the whole business with them, and you go through every single milestone and what they need to do, and you build that out in front of them. And when you build that out in front of them, obviously it shows that you're incredibly knowledgeable in the field that you're in, but it also goes to show them how much they need your service, right? And then in doing so, they're selling themselves on working with you because you gave them the solution to their problem, and now you've explained to them how to build it out, and you just need the time to be able to do it, right? So that is essentially what I like to do on these sales calls with particular customers. And then once that's done, right, I'll usually get off the phone and I'll say, hey, let me follow up with you and give you a customized proposal, after the call. And I'll send over a workflow or a flow chart like this to them so they get a good understanding, and then also a price too. If it's a fixed rate, then you should be telling them how much it's going to cost. But if it's an hourly rate, then you can just obviously go based on the hours, but you should give them a definitive time frame on how long you think it's going to take, right? Just do your best to get estimate. Never make promises, right? That's one of the biggest mistakes you can make, is saying it's going to take me exactly 30 hours, because if it takes you 40 hours, now there's obviously they're not going to be happy with the fact that what they initially thought was now not true and they're paying more. So just be careful with that kind of stuff. But essentially just give them a hook at the end of the call where you say, hey, I'm going to send over a proposal to you based on our call today. And in there, I'm going to include the time and the money and all that kind of stuff, right? And then in terms of the payments, right, fixed rate, ultimately that's going to come in time. It depends on the niche that you're in, but for automation, you could easily be selling automation packages for $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 USD, whatever it is that you want, depending on the services that you're rendering. And then once you send that over, just make sure to follow up with the people that you're reaching out to, right? And just be really cordial, obviously not too overbearing, right? There's a fine line between following up and being a pest about it. And once you do that, you'll be able to lock down some deals, right? And when you lock down the deals, just make sure that you effectively get them to review you fast, because those reviews and the amount of money you're making is going to be posted back onto your profile, which will help increase or accelerate your growth on a platform like Upwork. And that's essentially how I would get my first $10,000 on Upwork. Just once again, looking at my profile here, I did generate $30,000 and I did it in 538 hours. I believe that was probably equivalent to like $50 or $60 USD an hour when I was first starting out. And that was, it was pretty decent. It was pretty decent. It's a good amount of money to make. And I was really happy with that. And I think that, if you choose the right niche, obviously some will pay more and some will pay less, but if you choose the right niche, you can definitely make this, you can make money off this and turn it into a success. So thanks guys so much for watching. I really wish you the best of luck applying this. And if you guys do want me to make future videos on talking to clients that I've worked with in the past or whatnot, and talking about what they're looking for when it comes to hiring, feel free to leave that in the comment section below. If you want me to go over the roadmaps in more detail, feel free to leave that comments in the comment section below, and maybe I can make a future video on that. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks guys, bye-bye.